Hello everybody, Fix-A-Tony here on location at my father-in-law's house. We are in the dead of winter and the project today is installing a clear plastic window film over top of this window. This window is a little drafty. There's some cold air leaking through. Some initial work suggests that the weather stripping on the outside has gotten a little brittle and hard and not creating a good seal. Temporarily, some filler tubing, foam tubing, like this diameter, was placed down in here, and that made a big difference in sealing the air penetration. So now we're going to put a plastic film. We've done this every year, so it's time to do it again. So preparing the surface, where we're going to put the film. The film is going to be placed right in this little jamb right here, this little window stop. We're going to put a two-sided tape right along here, and then we're going to cut the film and place it. We're going to try to make it tight before we apply the hairdryer. So we're going to first do the tape. All right, so to do the tape,
two whole tapes.
we have, so the tape is going to look like this. This is indoor only tape. And for what I'd first do is it's double-sided. All right, and I'm going to place it right in the corner tight. So first, you always want to make sure that this edge is square, perfectly square, and cut evenly. And then you're going to place it right there first. Hold it with your finger because it's not fully set in, and pull about 6 inches, 8 inches of tape at a time. And let's move my camera. And I'm pulling it pretty tight to create a nice straight line, and then you're positioning it so that the tape is right along this bottom edge here, and then slowly apply pressure back and forth with progressively increasing pressure to set the tape. The better you can set this tape, the more securely the film will stay on and not peel off the jamb. This is pressure sensitive tape, so more pressure improves the adhesion of the glue. Okay. I'm gonna hold my finger, pull the next little section. See how I'm pulling it tight, and then lay it down. Work from where I was already, and slowly increasing the pressure that I'm applying with each finger stroke, making sure you get all the bubbles out. And then as you get close to the corner, we need a very sharp knife. Woo! There's my camera. So you want to have a utility knife, sharp, new blade if you can. Because what you're going to do now is work your way to the corner. I applied pressure to the corner, and then now I'm taking my knife and I'm gonna, sometimes if you start right at the edge, on the outer edge, you try to pull, you sometimes snag the tape and you pull it with you. So start just a hair on the inside, get into the corner and pull up, and then you can just poke at the tape down low, and then it should be done. There. Pull the tape aside. Finish. Applying the pressure. All right. So now that's done. Basically now repeat this for the other 3 sides. Same technique, same method. You're gonna have to just be mindful of how was the what was the nature of the cut. So you can see how that's almost square, but not quite. So if I'm going to work on the angle, I would probably do the long side on the inside of the jamb. So now I'd probably take this end and work on the right side of the window. There should be enough tape here to do this window. You could overlap tape. So if you're halfway through and you run out, you can just overlap by a 1/2 inch and then start a new roll. You don't have to have a single stretch or length of tape for each window jamb. Let's see what other tips and tricks. Make sure you always have your sharp knife with you, and when you're not using it, put it away because you don't want to cut yourself. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so one of the things to keep in mind is if you've used the film from last year, I mean, last year you had a film and then you removed it, you have to remove all the old stuff. So this is a remnant of the film and the tape. So, focus, there. So now, there, with my fat fingers out of the way, you can kind of see a little better. There, pulling that up. If you pull gently, it ought not to break. There, okay, that's it. So I'll be starting. So I'm gonna do the left and the right verticals first, and then I do the top last. That's just a process that I follow. One can argue either way, but if you just do it the same way, I like the overlapping, then I can overlap the tape a little bit as well. All right, I'm gonna keep going. All right, so I have the tape installed around the entire perimeter. Do not remove the outside protective film to expose the adhesive. What we have to do is first measure the width and dimensions of this window and cut a piece of plastic about, I would say, to be on the safe side, go 2 to 3 inches wider on each side, so that if you lay it down off square, you don't come at the bottom and you're way off. So that's important, and we will show you that part next. All right, so what we have here is we have a film that's only 141 inches long. So we're gonna go 70.5 inches, so we're only gonna have an extra 1/2 inch. So here is how we're gonna do this. I marked this end at 70.5, and now all right, so I have our width.
That's a straight edge right there.
That's
this
a straight
is your cut
edge.
So that's the one you want to start with, right?
We're gonna start with the two factory edges.
Okay.
And we're gonna start. I'm gonna lift it up. I'm gonna put it up to the top.
Yeah, and start in that corner.
I'm going to peel off just the top row of adhesive tape, partially, and then partially on the left side to create a nice square look. All right. All right, so I peeled back the top strip of backing, and just a few inches down, I started in the top left corner, placing the factory edge so that it actually sticks on the paper, on the film. And I carefully walked across, not walked, but placed the film across the top and along the bottom. Before I put the right side film on, I made sure this film was not as tight, not tight, but try to get out as much of the sloppy slack, because when we use a hairdryer, the hairdryer will help make this even tighter, but what we don't want is to have this so slacky that the hairdryer just can't achieve what it needs to do. All right, so the next step is I'm gonna be peeling this back. You can see the edge, and then I'm placing the film, making sure that I'm pulling more. So the film's actually past just a little bit. There's gonna be more on the other side. You'll sort of see that. Peeling it off. Now, if you have two hands, one hand will be, see, I'm kind of like pulling with my thumb. I don't know if you can see my technique. I have 3 fingers in behind the film. My thumb is sort of like my pressure stretcher, tensioner, and then my forefinger is the applicator. So I'm tugging, pulling, pressing incrementally down. You want to always be pulling, I'm doing 6 to 8 inches at a time, because you want to be able to not have the film accidentally stick. You can kind of see that if you do it right, you can actually get this thing to the point where you hardly have to use a hairdryer. I'm going to do only half the window, so up to this middle part of the window. And then, all right, so now on this side, same idea. I'm only going to be pulling down a little bit at a time, and I'm going to be tugging and pulling at the same time and applying the pressure. You can kind of see that I'm already removing a lot of the wrinkles just by stretching it and sticking it on tight. Go back up and down. Make sure that the plastic is securely fastened, and go down to the same level as the other side. All right, so now that's pretty much it on that side. And then I come back over here on this side. I'm off my step stool right now and pulling this down. Where are we? There we are. And then tugging. Down all the way, and I am where I need to be. There. Apply pressure all the way down. Make sure that plastic is securely sealed on there. I'm going to get back up on my step stool. To the top, really secure it. You want to make sure you're using a dry surface. It's not cold. It doesn't have old adhesive on it. applying that pressure all the way down. Make sure it's seated in well. And then we're gonna finish up this side. You got the extra slop on this side. You can just sort of bunch it up if you have to. And pull that off. And there we go. So, if you have the extra stuff, just pull it up out of the way as you're applying that final pressure. You can hear any air bubbles popping, knowing that you're squeezing out, making good contact. Okay, and then the final step is the bottom. Sometimes, if you don't have a fingernail, like I don't, a utility knife comes in handy to start the there. Alrighty. Yep. Want to always make sure. Then you just tug and secure it. You don't want the accidental stickiness. Now, if you're using two hands, you're sort of seating this in at the same time. It's going to go a little quicker. Pulling down. You can see how it's not quite there yet, up against it. So then I pulled this out, stretch that down, and then come right in. You can see how, you can see the reflection of my lights, that you can see there's very little wrinkles already. Now, this is a learning curve. The first window may not be as good as the second window and the third, but practice makes perfect. And you know, if you have extra and it doesn't quite work out, then you know, you just do it again. All right. So now the next step is we're going to get a hair dryer and we're going to apply hot air to this film, and then it'll tighten up firmly, because you can see a little bit of wrinkles, right? We're going to get rid of all those wrinkles. See, that's a wrinkle right there. So this is all going to go away, and then we'll trim with a knife this extra only after we're done stretching. All right, so let's get this. You start in the middle and you use circular motion. If you stay in one spot too long, you will burn and melt the plastic film. Yeah, I don't know if it comes through on the camera, but it's definitely shrinking. It's getting tight. Work your way from the middle to the edges. Up, down, up, down. Again, if you hold it in one spot too long or you get too close, it will burn and melt, and then you have a hole. Hopefully that segment right there, you saw the wrinkle go away. once the wrinkles go away, that's pretty much it. You know, you can keep going. More heat is not better in a situation like this. It's just enough, and then you move on. Some hair dryers are better than others. A little more stubborn wrinkles here. We'll come back to that. Gonna keep going here. If you get all the wrinkles out, or 99%, then as the film ages throughout the winter, the wrinkles won't come back and be so pronounced. Always keep the dryer moving. And I guess I'll call this one done. I'll call this one done. You can kind of hear the tension on it. That's a good sign. And now it's just a matter of trimming this. The way I'm going to trim it is get my knife. Here it is. I'll just show you down here, down low. You know, it's okay to leave a little. Again, I don't want to start right from here because I don't want to peel this off. So I'm going to start over here. You could, and it's just very gentle. Sharp knife, you don't want to scratch the surface. If you want to go right up against the corner, you can do that too. When you get close to the edge, don't try to push the knife. You don't cut by pushing, you cut by pulling. Then you just start from the corner and you poke in there, and then you can kind of pull from this corner out. And then that helps to cut that out. And then you can just pull what you cut. I'm gonna go to the corner. All right. That's that. So that's basically the trimming process, and we're all done here. I want to do this with two hands, so I'm going to be trimming this off with two hands, and that's about it, and that wraps it up. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.